Hi and welcome back to another easy access English video. Today I'm going to be talking about the past tenses. So let's review. The first past tense I'm going to go through is the simple past. The simple past is used for finished, completed actions that are taking place once, never, or several times in the past. We also use the simple past tense for actions taking place one after another, a sequence of events. And lastly, we use the simple past tense for actions taking place in the middle of another action. The simple past is the past tense that is most often taught in schools when learning English, and the one you are probably most familiar with. The reason this is the most common is because most actions in the past are finished and completed, so it's the tense we use the most. We often use this tense with time phrases such as yesterday, 2 minutes ago, in 1990, the other day, last Friday. So we use this tense with a specific time phrase to show when this event happened in the past. And again, this tense is the most common because we are often talking about specific times in the past, and when we are talking about the past, we often say the time we are referring to. An example of the simple past in a sentence is, he went to a conference on waste management last week. The past tense verb is went, which is the past tense of go. And we use this tense as a finished, completed action, and we've used the time phrase last week. So irregular verbs, for example, to go, becomes went in the past, but regular verbs like dance, to dance, just takes ed, danced, takes ed on the end. It's important to learn your irregular verbs, such as to go, to do, to see, because we use this tense the most, and we need to learn our irregular verb conjugations for this. The next past tense I'm going to go through is the past progressive. This past tense is used for actions going on at a certain time in the past, actions taking place at the same time, or actions in the past that is interrupted by another action. For example, he was speaking to the president of the company. So our conjugation, we have our pronoun he, our conjugation of to be in the past was, and then we have our verb with ing on the end. He was speaking. So for this tense, you need to know your conjugation of to be in the past tense. For example, I was, he, she, it was, they, you, we, were. Then your verb with ing, speaking, doing, going. We often use this tense with time phrases like when, while, as long as, to indicate that we are referring to this tense. The next past tense is the present perfect simple. We use this tense for putting emphasis on the result of what happened in the past. It is for an action that is still ongoing, an action that stopped recently, a finished action that has an influence on the present, and also an action that has taken place once, never, or several times before the moment of speaking. For example, he has been to a conference on solar energy, so he knows a lot about the subject. We have the event in the past tense, the conference, and as a result, he now knows a lot about the subject. And the emphasis is on the result, so we use the present perfect simple. The conjugation, we have our pronoun he, then has, so our conjugation of to have, and then been. He has been, I have been, you, they, we have been. Used with time phrases like already, ever, just, never, not yet, so far, till now, up to now. The next past tense is the present perfect progressive. This is used for putting emphasis on the course or duration of the event in the past, but not on the result. This is the difference between the simple and progressive present perfect. It's also used for an action that recently stopped or is still ongoing. Finished action that has influenced the present. For example, he has been working for IKEA for 7 years. So same conjugation to start, he has been. Then we have our verb with ing. This is the difference in conjugation. Working, doing, reading. And also it is important to allocate a time. For example, all day, for 4 years, since 1993. If it's a question, you could say how long, the whole week. So emphasizing a duration in the past, something that continued in the past. Next, we have the past perfect simple, used for for actions taking place before a certain time in the past. Sometimes it's interchangeable with the past perfect progressive, but this time it's putting emphasis only on the fact that it happened sometime in the past, not the duration. For example, he had never been to London before. So we've got he had never been. He had been. We've got now the conjugation is had. I have never been. He had never been. They, we, you have never or been. And we also have in the example the word before. This is the most common word associated with this tense. It's specifying that this event happened in the past at an unspecified time. We just know that it happened before now. It can also be used with words like already, just, never, not yet, once, until that day, for example. The last past tense in English is the past perfect progressive. This is for actions taking place before a certain time in the past. Again, it's sometimes interchangeable with the past perfect simple and the present perfect progressive. But this time it's putting emphasis on the duration or course of an action. For example, he had been going to the gym regularly before he moved to Paris. So we have this had been, then the verb plus ing, which is very similar to the present perfect progressive, but instead of has, it is had. And again, we have this word before, so specifying that this happened before now, at an unspecified time, but we have a duration. So he had been going to the gym regularly before he moved to Paris. I had been living in England before I moved to France. So talking about an action that continued for a duration, but an unspecified duration before another action. And the second action is in the past simple. He moved, I moved. Other words that this can be used with, most common, for, since, the whole day, all day, for example. In this video, I'm also going to specifically look at the present perfect. I'm going to go into more detail about this. So to show the conjugations in more detail, if you are using the present perfect tense in the positive, we're going to take the verb to see. For example, it is I have seen, you have seen, he has seen, she has seen, it has seen, we have seen, you have seen, they have seen. So a more detailed breakdown of the conjugations of the present perfect tense. If we have the negative, for example, we would say I have not seen, or I haven't seen, if we are going to condense the word. You have not seen, he has not seen, she has not seen, it has not seen, we have not seen, you have not seen, they have not seen, or they haven't seen. If we're going to use this tense as a question, again using this example of to see in the present perfect conjugation, we use the question have I seen, have you seen, has he seen, has she seen, has it seen, have we seen, have you seen, have they seen. So switching around our pronoun and have to create a question, but still the same conjugation of the verb. So this is a breakdown of the conjugation of like to have in the present perfect for each pronoun. Some examples of irregular verbs in the present perfect tense. The present is to go, past is went, and the present perfect is have or has gone. Present verb to see, the past is saw, present perfect have or has seen. Present to eat, past ate, present perfect have or has eaten. Present to break, past broke, present perfect have or has broken, depending on the pronoun. Regular verbs just take ed. For example, present ask, past asked, present perfect have or has asked. Present to cook, past cooked, present perfect have or has cooked. Present to wait, past waited, present perfect have or has waited. Present to open, past opened, present perfect have or has opened. So these are some examples of irregular and irregular verbs. The irregular verbs, you'll just have to learn off by heart the conjugation for the past and for the present perfect. And that will just come with practice and looking at a formal list of all of the examples. Some more examples of this present perfect tense in some sentences include I have written articles on different topics. Again, this have is our conjugation for I in present past perfect, and then we've got written, which is another irregular present perfect verb. He has read various kinds of books. Again, has because it's he in our pronoun, and read, again, another irregular verb because it's to read in the present, read in the past, and read again in the present perfect. Another example, they have played football. This is a regular verb, takes ed in the present perfect as well. She has taken coffee. Another example of an irregular verb, taken. He has gone to the library. So our example in a sentence of to go in the present perfect, gone. Try now, come up with your own example sentences of these present perfect verbs and try and use some of the irregular verbs if you can. And if there's anything that you didn't quite understand, go back, pause and review each of those past tenses. I hope this helped and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.